Hi everyone, Shaked Baltali here. Ladies and gentlemen, yours and mine and everyone else, Carolina Panthers got embarrassed on the road following the bye week at San Francisco. The 49ers won 51-14. Let me start after that saying the following. The 49ers are for real. They're a great team, serious Super Bowl contender in the NFC. Coming to the game, we didn't know how good the 49ers are. We saw them playing against weaker opponent. They won. Everyone said 49ers are probably not as good as they're advertised. Let me tell you something. The 49ers are better than advertised. Their defense is phenomenal. Their offense is pretty good, pretty balanced. And they are a dangerous team. They are 7-0 for right reason. And got to give kudos to the 49ers and take my hat off to the San Francisco 49ers. Because you guys are a really good team. Super Bowl contender. Now, this does not mean that the 49ers will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl or even that they will win a playoff game. But for right now, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. People should take notice of that. Now, as far as the Carolina Panthers go, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to find a polite word, respectfully, to say it. Because you know by now, I don't like to use inappropriate language, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, social media, or in my videos. I don't. So I'm going to use the most polite, respectful word that I can use, and that is, I am embarrassed. I am very embarrassed. I'm extremely embarrassed by what I saw today. Ladies and gentlemen, as a former athlete, myself, I used to play soccer. For those who don't know, for over 14 years, I was a goalkeeper. And when I gave up goals, because I wasn't perfect, no one is, I felt bad about it. I tried my best. I tried my best not to have it repeat. When my team was losing, I didn't sit on the side and felt happy about it. I wasn't happy. I was mad, you can say. I was frustrated. And more importantly, I gave it all I got, 110% effort. And guess what? When my team lost, then at least I could raise my head high, hold my head high and say, you know what? We lost to a better team, but at least, we gave it all we got. The efforts that we saw today from the Carolina Panthers, especially on defense, is nowhere near what they got. The defense was a non-factor today. Coming to the game, everyone said, including myself and everyone else said, oh, the Panthers have a great defense. This will be a low-scoring game. It will be a defensive battle. It wasn't anywhere near a defensive battle. It was a slugfest, embarrassing effort by the Carolina Panthers. And you know what? The Carolina Panthers have only themselves to blame. Ron Rivera is a very good coach. He's even more importantly, outstanding human being. But today, he got out-coached. And he has to answer for that. I'm not saying fire Ron Rivera. But I'm saying something must change immediately. You cannot, following a bye week, when you had 14 days, 2 weeks to prepare, you cannot look flat on the road, regardless of how good or how great San Francisco is, and they are. like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the 49ers are for real. They are Super Bowl contenders in the NFC. But regardless of how good the 49ers are, at least you have to play harder. Allowing 51 points, that is unexcusable, unacceptable. And sure, part of the blame has to be put on the offense. Gave up 7 sacks, Kyle Allen with 3 interceptions. And sure, the Panthers would have probably had a better chance of winning the game if Cam Newton played. And here is why. Kyle Allen is not a bad quarterback. He's a pretty good backup quarterback. He won 5 games for the Panthers, 4 games this season. Give him kudos, credit for that. But today, he looked flat. And the problem is with Kyle Allen. Take away the 3 interceptions. We knew sooner rather than later he's going to have a bad game. Unfortunately, it came today against a very good team, the 49ers, where you basically have to play a mistake-free game to have a chance to win the game. But part of the reason Kyle Allen, in my opinion, got sacked 7 times, 2 reasons. Number one, offensive line did a pretty bad job of protecting Kyle Allen. Let's be honest. But the other reason, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Allen, 2 things that he does wrong. Number one, even in games that the Panthers won, if you watch him, he hold on to the ball too long. And number 2, just as important, he doesn't move around in the pocket, which is the big difference between Cam Newton and Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen is more of a pocket quarterback, so if your offensive line is doing a good job of protecting you, yeah, he's probably going to put the throw on the money, 9 out of 10. But if they don't, as a quarterback, you cannot stay in the same spot. Move around. Keep the play alive. Use your footing to pick up the first down. Don't sit there, staying in the same spot and take a sack. That is the big difference between Cam Newton and Kyle Allen. Cam Newton has a great throwing arm, just like Kyle Allen. But the big advantage that Cam Newton has over Kyle Allen and most other quarterbacks in the NFL is that Cam Newton is not afraid. He's not afraid of keeping the play alive. You're not going to see Cam Newton staying in the same spot, in the exact same location. You're going to see him moving right, left, up and down. You're going to see him try to pick up the first down with his footing. If no one is open, he's not going to stay in the same spot, exact same location, and take his sacks. And that is unacceptable. If you feel the pressure, 2 things you have to do as a quarterback. Number 1, throw the ball away. If no one is open, throw the ball away. Number 2, if no one is open, run. Use your footing. Move a bit to the right if the pressure is coming from the left. If the pressure is coming from behind you, move forward. The Panthers had a chance early in the game, way early. When they were trailing, it was 3rd down. 3rd and 5. Kyle Allen had a chance to keep the play alive, to pick up the first down. But guess what? He took his time, and by the time he tried to pick up the first down, he went down for a 2-yard loss. Panthers had to punt the ball. So yeah, Kyle Allen is not a bad quarterback, but staying in the same spot against a tremendous defense, you're basically asking for trouble if your offensive line cannot protect you. And as a quarterback, you have to realize and understand the pressure is coming and try to keep the play alive. End of story. And again, the three interceptions that Kyle Allen threw today, part of it, miscommunication and bad throws, really bad throws. But the other part of it is pressure by the 49ers. The Panthers offensive line looked embarrassed today. Very embarrassed. To allow 7 sacks, that is unacceptable, my friend. Regardless of how great the defense is. And again, give credit to the 49ers. Give credit to maybe rookie of the year, second overall pick, Nick Bosa. He looked outstanding today. But again, if you're going to give up 7 sacks, you're asking for trouble. The only bright spot on offense that I saw from the Panthers today was Christian McCaffrey. If you didn't watch the game, you didn't know the score, one would think, based off how Christian McCaffrey played, that the Panthers were either down by 7 or tying the game up or had a chance to win. Because Christian McCaffrey played out. And that is what you want to see, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying Greg Olsen, DJ Moore, Cody Samuel, JJ Wright didn't play out. But if you look at the defense played really well. Pardon me, Christian McCaffrey played really well. The defense for the Panthers, flat. Absolutely flat. Embarrassed. I mean, this is so embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. I have no answer to tell you why this happened, except effort wasn't good enough. The pressure wasn't good enough on Jimmy Garoppolo. The defense allowed 265 rushing yards. A lot of the plays were wide open type of a run. Something must get better. And the Panthers, as I speak, have a 5 hours flight back home to Charlotte. It's time for soul searching. The season is not over by any stretch of the mean. However, the Carolina Panthers must do deep soul searching to see what the heck happened today and make sure that this doesn't happen again. It's one thing to lose one game, to get embarrassed. It's another thing to have this game impact you for the rest of the season. If it does, coaching change will have to be made immediately. If it doesn't, then it's one loss. You can look back and say, oh, we won the Super Bowl. Our season turned around because of that game. So only time will tell how the Carolina Panthers will bounce back and respond from this loss. Let's hope. This is not going to be a repeat of last season where the Panthers lost to the Steelers, got embarrassed on the road on Thursday night, allowing also 50-plus points. Then you know the rest of last season. Let's hope that this loss, as painful and as embarrassing as this game was, that the Panthers will use it to motivate themselves and say, listen, what we put up today is not who we are. And we are going to do everything possible to play better, to play much better. Of course, the Panthers lost, so no sweet Caroline for me today. Hopefully, they will bounce back next week at home against Tennessee, play like they're capable, win the game so I can sing Sweet Caroline. But at the end of the day, I'm a Panthers fan, win, lose or tie. But I think we should all expect much better result than what we saw today, because finally, ladies and gentlemen, it's one thing to lose, it's another thing to get embarrassed. And we got embarrassed today, and that, my friend, is a very sick, bad feeling. Let's hope, like I stated, that this loss will be something that we look back and say, oh, because of that loss, the Carolina Panthers turned their season around. Because at the end of the day, the Panthers are still 4-3. Even though they got embarrassed today, we should remember that one game at a time, and the season could be turned around. With that, Shaked Bartal is signing off.